Hello.
And
Welcome
to Film
Bastards. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to episode 511, I believe. I just started there, we didn't actually confirm the episode number, of Film Bastards. This is a special episode, Your Mother Sucks Cocks in Hell, an Exorcist retrospective, with me, your host, Ian Loring, and as always, I'm joined by...
Becky Foster, hello everybody.
I'm Matt Foster, hello everybody.
Hello, one and all. We hope you are well. Okay, yeah, so it's an Exorcist retrospective. I'm not entirely sure we'll do much else. Could probably just save what we've been watching and whatnot for next week, maybe, because
I'd say we do that, yeah.
Yeah, we've essentially got 6 main reviews, and there's been trailers and stuff as well. So
yeah.
Let's do that. Like, I've got a few things I could talk about, but we could just push to next week. And also, actually, one of them was totally killer, which I'm assuming we'll just review next week.
Yeah. We'll give that a go, can't we?
Yeah, cool. All right, nice one. So we are a Pod Syndicate podcast, so please do listen to other like-minded shows such as Tin Stroker vs. Punter, The Rewatch Project, Gaming Landfill, The Good, The Bad, The Odd, and others. And if you're wondering why I might sound a little bit weird, it is because I am recording inside a room in a villa in Portugal, and I don't have my normal mic. So hopefully this is coming out okay. I don't know what the room's like for sound or anything, but yeah, I don't know. There's not much background noise as far as I can tell, but I don't know, like, the villa opposite us was like playing what was essentially like a noughties new metal playlist last night from about 7. So we'll see how that goes. I was quite enjoying it, actually, I won't lie. And it's like it's relatively touristy round here, but it's not like it's just full of like old tourists or something like that. So I don't know, it was kind of nice just having that kind of sign of life around here. I must say, it's makes a difference from when I go to my mum's place in Spain. It's like half the people who live around there basically look like they're about to die. So yeah, there's that. Mark and Becky have just been away. If you follow us on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it, there's some exclusive footage of their holiday.
Yeah.
Not in a one night in Paris sense. Just some remarkable scenes. So I would recommend give us a follow over there, and on Instagram as well, just at Film Bastards. We don't really pimp that ever, so there we go. Okay. Movie news. Let's see if there's been some movie news to discuss. So the actors' strike's not over yet. They're meeting every other day, but it just seems to keep on keeping on. Yeah, I don't know.
A24 of today said that they're going to branch out into more kind of big appeal movies and strong IP movies. Which is a strange one. Really, that. So what is it they've said? I'm trying to think. A24 is reportedly searching for action and big IP projects in an effort to expand into more commercial films.
Isn't their whole thing that, like, they make indie stuff? Good, interesting...
Maybe they want to make good,
the box.
interesting indie action films.
If they're going for mainstream appeal, though, it's...
Let's see. You know, they've previously spent like over $100 million on movies before.
Yeah.
You know, let's see what they can do with something a little bit different.
They've previously spent over $100 million on a movie.
Yeah, one. The Northman.
I mean, that was with Universal as well, to be fair.
I would think that this will probably be what it is. It'll be in collaboration with other studios, won't it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit because A24 just seemed to be a brand as much as anything else
Oh, yeah.
now. And man, do they need to be careful going down that kind of road. You know, like, I feel like if Letterboxd didn't exist, then A24 wouldn't have half the following it does. I love me some Letterboxd. I'm a little bit worried about them getting sold to some investment firm. That was announced last week as well, actually.
Yeah.
Even though apparently the guys who founded it will still play a part. It's a little bit, what does this mean then?
Yeah.
But yeah,
does it mean that it's literally going to end up getting linked with something else?
Yeah, quite. And I don't know. I think A24 need to be careful. They've cultivated their brand pretty damn well, and yeah, I just tread carefully. Like, making a splashy thing about it feels a bit odd. But then I don't know. Maybe they're also like seeking investment or something, and it's a way of turning some heads.
That's it. It could just be that. Yeah.
It's an interesting one, that. I was just going to raise the Jada Pinkett Smith interview that just came out, where it's like, yeah, I haven't been romantically involved with Will for about 20 years.
Yeah, it's. You get the feeling at some point, like, he's going to come out and go, look, I've not had a good 20 years. This has been horrible. He looks a little bit broken recently. And when I say recently, I mean like recent years.
Man, there's a part of me that just, well, yeah, I want Will Smith to get better, and I want him to be happy. You know, but that feels, yeah, I don't know, that feels like we don't need to talk about it too much. It's just like there's a bit of a dearth of movie news generally, as far as I can see. But yeah, there we go.
There is a little bit of, so they're quite, Jennifer Pinkett is quite vocally critical of people talking about her private life. And, he's quite vocally critical of saying, people should stay out of my business. But then she literally, periodically every 6 months, dumps her purse out. But not even hers. She grabs her children's and Will's and dumps them on the table too. And then she goes, look at all of this. And then when people go, what is that? She goes, well, no, I didn't mean that. You can't look at that. That makes me look bad.
She seems
or it'll
like
be
such
like,
a horrible person.
Yeah.
Just a straight up fucking horrible person. And if they have been separated for 7 years. The fuck is that? Oh, it's the biscuit thing. Sorry, Ian. A random noise from in the hallway.
I could hear it. I thought the cat was playing with something.
No, so we got.
It's the auto feeder.
It's the Magic Bowl Redux.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that really scared me. Why? He can't be getting anything out of that.
No.
Poor fucking
know,
guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He. The Chris Rock thing was hugely inappropriate. He's not my favourite person in the whole wide world. But he looks fucking beaten down, and he has done for a while. He looks like a haunted man.
Possibly because his wife keeps on talking about all the ones that got away.
Yeah, she's just such a bitch, isn't she? To him specifically.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that she was like, "Oh, I thought the slap was a skit at first as well." No,
you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it's very much a no one believes you. Just no one believes you.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, interesting. Okay, tell you what. Let's talk some trailers.
Maybe there's something in there, there's a prenup where if there's infidelity on her part, she gets nothing. Because, has she earned any of her own money in recent years?
I mean,
she has that podcast, doesn't she?
Red Table Talk, yeah, but she won't earn money off that.
Yeah, she will.
Money.
Sponsorship, she will.
Oh yeah, probably. But still, there might be something, and it's quite widely known that there has been, isn't it?
I mean, speculating on people's like that, but the speculation is that they have an agreement.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Okay. Stuff will come out about that relationship one day.
Oh yeah.
Well, she's got a memoir coming out, hasn't she? That's why she's been doing the rounds. I mean, honestly, I don't fucking like biographies, but there might be some good shit in there.
I have a feeling it might be quite one-sided.
Well, yeah.
She probably made Will narrate it.
She narrates it all, apart from he has to do the voices of all the other people that she's had sex with.
Yeah.
As impressions.
Trailers, my word. So yeah, there's been quite a lot, and I mean, I suppose like to lead in, there was a very short teaser for Kevin Costner's Horizon: An American Saga, which he's co-written with John S. Baird, who directed Filth and Tetris.
Yeah,
which is
that's a weird one.
Interesting combination, and it's part 1 June, if I remember correctly. Part 2 August. There's going to be a part 3, but that no date's been announced. And apparently the whole thing all in is going to be about 11 hours long, and there are over 170 speaking roles. Kevin Costner, goddamn, that one shot of you on the horse and shooting, cool. You've taken that Yellowstone money. You've gone up yours, Taylor Sheridan. I'm gonna do my own thing, and I wish it all the luck in the world. Quite frankly, what a treat it will be if Kevin Costner just makes like a real classic Western trilogy now.
It's bonkers, isn't it? And I mean, he's bringing back people like Jeff Fire. Will Patton's going to be in it as well. There's a lot of character. Danny Houston's there.
I feel like it's going to make so much money. Like it's in America anyway. Like just the Yellowstone of it all. Like the way that guy has just rebuilt himself, or built himself back up. I don't know, man. Like Horizon: An American Saga, like that. Like, and I think self-financed, if I remember correctly. Like that is some just real Billy Big Bollocks stuff, and you have to respect it. I hope it pulls off. I hope it's good.
Originally, because this has been start again. He's been wanting to make this since I think the late 80s. I think he wanted to make this before Dances with Wolves. And Disney originally were going to do it, but it just kept on growing and growing and growing. So he ended up making other bits in between. Then he was going to make it when he did Open Range, but didn't have just couldn't quite work out the scope for it. And it's just kept on growing. And eventually he's now decided, do you know what? If I don't make this now, I'm going to age out and I'm never going to make it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, Kevin Costner's an incredibly wealthy man to an incredible level, and he's like you say there, he's put his money where his mouth is and got a couple of distributors on board, but he's going to essentially help finance his own mega movie. Fair play.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Teaser trailer for Leave the World Behind, one of the big Netflix Christmas ones. Did you guys see this?
I didn't see this one, no.
So this is written and directed by Sam Esmail, who was the guy who basically show ran and created and whatnot, Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
The show with Rami Malek and Christian Slater.
Yeah.
So this looks all right. It just looks like some sort of apocalypse-y thing happens, and these poor people have to deal with it. It's Ethan Hawke, Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, and someone else, and I can't remember who. But Kevin Bacon is also in it. And yeah, this looks decent. Oh God, who the bloody hell is it? Hang on, I need to find this out now. It's going to bother me. Go on. Yeah, there's Mahershala Ali. There's Julia Roberts. Leave the World Behind. Oh, okay. Mahershala, who I don't know who that is, so I don't know what I was thinking about there. So apologies. But yeah, this looks like some good, classy, end of the world stuff. Looks like it's going to be more drama than like horror-y. And yeah, like I say, Netflix on in December. Cool.
Netflix have got a lot coming up, haven't they?
Yeah, they are just absolute ton. It feels like Amazon Prime have slowed down a little bit. Like Amazon Studios isn't doing as much, or I mean, like, I don't know whether they're Amazon Studios now or Amazon MGM Studios. I will say we'll do Totally Killer next week, but seeing the MGM logo with an Amazon company under it and then the title card Amazon MGM Studios present just felt very weird.
That's a lot of words, that, isn't it?
Yeah, but like it's like when the next Bond comes out and Amazon is on it.
Yeah. When the next Bond comes out and it opens up with the new Bond being delivered to fucking MI5 via an Amazon Prime delivery.
Oh, God. Like thankfully Eon have got enough, I think have got enough sway to go, no, you're not having him talk to Alexa.
Yeah. God, no.
Even though I say that, the teaser trailer for that 007 game show thing came out.
Yeah.
With Brian Cox as someone. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. IP's IP, but it is a bit depressing. But anyway, what was I talking about Amazon? Yeah, so like it feels like they're ramping down a little bit, but then Netflix have got a lot, and Apple have as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, like Netflix have also got Pain Hustlers.
Yeah.
So trailer for this came out. As long as this is going to be as acidic as it looks like it's going to be, I think I'm in. I'm a little bit worried that it's going to go, we're putting a mirror up to society. Do you like what you see? I don't want that. I want the Wolf of Wall Street of Big Pharma. I'm not entirely sure David Yates is the man to do that, but I'm actually, based on this trailer, I'm kind of looking forward to him giving it a shot.
I'm intrigued more than interested, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's on Netflix, you know.
They
just watch it on Netflix.
This is David Yates thing is making me go, all right, that's interesting that guy's doing that movie.
Hey, look, I mean, before he did the Potter films, he directed State of Play.
Yeah,
and you know
good
that
film.
film's a perfectly decent little thriller.
Yeah, it is. You know, State of Play.
You know,
it's. I quite like that film actually. It's a great kind of Thursday night movie.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I'm not rejecting this outright because I've actually thought the trailer looked all right. And I think it's out in a couple of weeks. And it doesn't seem to be one already. It kind of feels like Netflix aren't necessarily going to go Chris Evans, Best Supporting Actor, Emily Blunt, Best Actress. But it's the kind of thing where maybe Emily Blunt, in her campaign for Oppenheimer, can kind of use this as well to kind of like build up a look at the work I'm doing at the moment, guys, kind of a thing. And this looks like it will be good for that, not necessarily 10 Academy Award nominations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm quite looking forward to it. Do you know what else I'm also looking forward to?
Go on.
David Ayer's The Beekeeper. Right. It looks like the greatest film anyone will ever make.
It just looks fucking bonkers, doesn't it?
Like, the fact that he's a beekeeper, but then it turns out that he actually also belongs to an organisation called the Beekeepers. Who have to protect the hive is just some brilliant bollocks.
Yeah, it is. It's the most stoned of I've got an idea. What if, right, he's a beekeeper, but actually, and then they just going, everyone's just like sort of saying new things and just clicking and going, I've got it. He's got to protect the hive. It's like, boom.
It feels like Heart of Stone if it was made by people who knew maybe how to make a film like that.
Yeah. It very much is. It's Aya going, right, let's have a bit of fucking fun. I've got Statham in a movie. Why don't we just have a load of fucking fun with it?
Oh my! It's written by Kurt Wimmer, who is just one of the great trash writers of action cinema of the last 20 years.
Yeah, Kurt Wimmer. I am one of the few people who gets excited when they see written by Kurt Wimmer, whereas most people go, "Oh God, no."
I mean, look, comes out January 12th. That is the perfect release date for that film.
Yep.
Well done, everybody. No notes. Brilliant. A trailer I didn't see, but maybe you guys did. Silent Night.
Have watched it. Yeah, fine. I watched it on a sun lounger in Crete.
Sure.
And I went, I'll watch that, but I'm not like, it's not like, this looks great. I'm expecting a 3 out of 5. If it's a 3.5, great. If it's a 2.5, it's my fault for watching it.
That could be said about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially Mark. Okay. The new trailer for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah, that's it. I'll watch it, but I don't care.
No. That's exactly it.
Yeah, like if something happened and someone forgot to upload it to streaming services, no one would notice.
Wow.
It's the fact that it's a Sony film and it's actually going to get like a wide theatrical release over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like that's wild. I don't know. It better be an 18. If they dare try to get away with 15 with that, then we're in trouble.
That's it. What is it? It's gonna be, isn't it? But it's just, I mean, it's Eli Roth, so you both know it's gonna be a little bit sleazy, but in a icky way. But also a bit crap.
Yeah, Eli. Interesting career, that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is an interesting career, is Eli Roth. It's like he wanted Quentin Tarantino's career and then kind of got Robert Rodriguez's career instead.
And I mean, like after this, he's got Borderlands, which has been held up so much that he couldn't do the reshoots on Borderlands because he was filming Thanksgiving. Borderlands was shooting at the height of COVID. So that film will be about 4 years since production before it comes out, and that has got all the makings of an absolute cluster.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that Roth was just like, apparently it wasn't like he was necessarily kicked off of the reshoots. He was like, nah, thanks, I'ma do Thanksgiving instead of finishing off his own film. Feels
feels like there's something there.
Like, but I mean, like, so during E3 in 2001, there was like a behind the scenes video thing of the guy who runs the development studio that makes Borderlands, Gearbox. This guy Randy Pitchford, real piece of shit guy. like look him up. He's kind of like trying to interview people on the set of the film, and Eli Roth is trying to get away from him so hard. It's something like he's able to get Kevin Hart, 'cause I think Kevin Hart's just always on if the camera's on, and he's good value for that. But honestly, if you have like 5 minutes, Google, I don't know what you'd have to Google, like Borderlands movie behind the scenes, E3 2021 or something maybe. But
So
literally, I mean, you know, I'm a search engine, what can I say? But it honestly, Eli Roth just does not want to talk to the dude, and it's glorious. But I wonder about that set. But hey, they got Cate Blanchett to play a video game character, which is still wild. So anyway, there we are. Next one, new Blumhouse Universal film about a haunted swimming pool. Did you guys see the trailer for Night Swim?
Night Swim, didn't know.
Like straight up, as far as I can tell, kind of looks like maybe it's about a haunted swimming pool.
I'm sold.
I mean, yeah,
I genuinely
to be honest.
sold.
Yeah. Lovely.
Or like maybe there's a monster there, but also maybe not, because there's like ghostly stuff going on as well. Yeah, I think it's a haunted swimming pool.
Fuck yeah.
And like a haunted backyard swimming pool.
I'm not even gonna watch a trailer for that now. I'm just gonna go at the film, and then when it's not a haunted swimming pool, be really upset.
But I mean, it's like that film Daniel Radcliffe did. Horns, was it? Where it's just like, what's it about? Daniel Radcliffe wakes up one day, he's got horns on his head, and he appears to have murdered people.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, all right, fine. Yes, I will watch this.
Sold. Oh, another great one. Nurse 3D. What's this about? I don't know. We just made a poster with Paz de la Huerta as dressed as a nurse covered in blood. But what's the film about? Genuinely, we don't have a film. Make it. All right.
Did we watch that at Fright Fest?
I think we did, yeah.
I feel like I've watched Nurse 3D.
I have watched Nurse 3D a few times. It's a fun film.
Of course you have.
Not watched it in 3D, but we've seen it a couple of times. We've watched it.
I don't think it ever actually came out in 3D.
Oh.
That's the beautiful thing of it.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah.
It was literally just a photographer did like a photo shoot with Paz de la Huerta and mocked up this like fake movie poster, and then they made a movie out of it.
Is that the one that makes a great double bill with that Catherine Isabel movie where she's like a doctor?
American Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3D Nurse.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, American Mary and Nurse 3D. That'd be a good night, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd need some tissues.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My word. Okay, the colour purple.
Not everything needs to be a musical.
Tonally, like the story's not that. I feel like I don't know. I think it's quite a heavy going story, and then turn it into a musical just feels really
weird,
quite icky and disrespectful.
I mean, it's been a musical before though. It's been a musical.
Sure.
It's been a Broadway musical. It's just they're finally making a film musical of it.
Sure. It just feels a bit icky.
The thing is,
like it's trivialising the content.
With Coleman Domingo in it, you've got me sold, because I will watch anything with that guy in it.
Yeah, that dude rules.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that apparently Rustin's a bit shit.
Apparently, it's one of those ones he's very good in it, but the film around it is not great.
That sucks. I like that trailer. I was pulling for that. But yeah.
But yeah, he sells me. The film, I'm a little bit like, it's got that look that I'm just not a huge fan of.
You over it?
Yeah, that it's. I think it's a little bit like I don't believe any of those people are in any of those places, but those places could quite easily be real places. So why not just shoot them in real places? That's just a field. Why not just shoot it at a field? Yeah. Why does it have to look like that field isn't a real field?
I feel like they either really pull it off as something special, or it's just going to be deeply, deeply, oh God,
Yeah,
2.5 hours of that.
It's either going to be really good, or it's just going to be in the heights more.
Yeah,
Nobody needs
but
more of
yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great if it's good.
Yes,
It
you're
reminds
right.
me as well. that
You're right. It
Sorry,
is
go on.
going to be 2.5 hours long, isn't it?
Oh yeah, easy. It just reminded me that comes out Christmas Day in the US. Have you guys seen how stacked Boxing Day is?
It
here?
is pretty stacked, isn't it?
Oh, what was it that comes
Right.
out on Boxing Day that we were like, yes, we're on Boxing Day?
Boy and the Heron.
What? Yeah.
The-
Sorry, I heard boiling the heron, and I was like, how's that?
So yeah, we've got The Boy and the Heron, Miyazaki's new one for anybody who doesn't know, Priscilla, and Ferrari.
Ooh, fucking hell.
And I've got a Cardiff home game on Boxing Day, so I'm glad I've got the 27th of December off work. I'll say that. Yeah, just stacked. Like, what a treat of a Boxing Day that is, though.
It's just it's a good, because that week between Christmas and New Year is a little bit. It's a little bit saggy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think the thing is, I think you've got those, and then there's not really much of interest out that like New Year's Day, first week of January bit, and then the Beekeeper is the 12th of January, and you get some more Oscar botherers and stuff around then as well. But it's really, really stacked around Boxing Day, and that feels diverse as well.
Yeah.
And like Ferrari is a Sky Cinema film, so expect Sky to promote the crap out of that over Christmas. But then the critics will be all about Priscilla and The Boy and the Heron as well. So I'm a little bit worried about how widely The Boy and the Heron will be released. It's being released over here by Elysium Releasing, who are a very small outfit.
The thing is, I'm looking at that and thinking, it probably it's Cineworld. It might struggle in, but I guarantee you, Parkway will show it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, your indies and your art houses, they'll play it all day long.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Don't know if if it's just gonna be Japanese dub with subtitles. If they're sensible, they'll do an English dub as well. If they're actually aiming for it for kids, I'm kind of hoping it might be something that Lottie will come see, and then the three of us can go see it. But we'll see. But yeah, real stacked Boxing Day. Like Boxing Day Ferrari just feels like the most middle-aged me thing I could possibly do, and I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to Ferrari, just a Michael Mann passion project. Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it feels like the strikes are gonna ease up, so the product should start kind of like coming through again. Obviously, like A24 have been able to go all the way through all this as well. So I don't know. I feel like we're in a good place at the moment for cinema. Like, there's good stuff to look forward to over the next few months, and next year maybe the summer movie season might be a little bit slower, but there'll be stuff about. So good. And also, I almost forgot the last trailer. Unless you guys got anything else, there's a trailer that came out today to talk through. But if you guys have anything else,
no, I think we've just got the same one that I'm going to say. I think.
Okay, cool. So this is Sean Durkin's new film, The Iron Claw. Over to you, Mark, for the Zephron report. The Zephron report with Mark Foster.
I mean, he looks fucking jacked to living fuck again, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice. I think he's very much pushed for this as well. I think he was very much like the driving force behind this movie getting made. Essentially, but yeah, it looks good. Looks very good, to be honest. I think because we were talking on via text earlier, and Noel from the show did point out, it looks like there's an awful lot of the story in the film, in the trailer.
Yeah.
which leads me to believe that either there is awful lot of that, or there's actually that everything we get in the trailer happens in like the first half hour of the movie, and then there's so much fucking more to it.
What's the Von Erich curse?
What?
However, they not only had to battle inside the ring, but fight the Von Erich curse.
Well, we're going to
outside
find
of
out,
it.
aren't we?
I'm not going to read about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm definitely up for this.
Yeah, I think it looks cracking. Like up for just like family drama, Sean Durkin style. Looks like it's going to be nicely intense. Holt McElhenney getting hopefully a nice juicy role as the dad. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it looks very much like he is made to play that part.
Yeah, doesn't it?
And I've long championed Zac Efron. Jeremy Allen White is
A thing right now.
everybody's favourite thing right now. Which and he's I've struggled with Bear. I wish I liked it more than I do. But he's a very good actor and he's very good in it. And I'm really interested in everything that Harris Dickinson does.
He's an interesting dude, is Harris Dickinson.
Yeah.
Makes really good choices.
That's it. He seems like the kind of guy who could be making easier choices than he is making.
He's the guy that played Dickie Attenborough in something, isn't he?
Yeah, but he was also very good in Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah.
And
And
the King's Man.
King's Man, yeah, and apparently Scrapper is a really decent little British indie film that he's very.
Is he in that, is he?
Yeah, he's the dad in that, and apparently he's very, very good.
Nice. Yeah. Look, this. I think this is going to be cracking. I think there's going to be more to it than the trailer suggests. Like, I haven't seen The Nest, and I will aim to catch up with it. But Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, which is the only other film Durkin's directed.
We watched The Nest, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It's good.
Yeah.
Good film.
And it like, I don't know, like he does dark and bubbling well, and just like unnerving. And I feel like this could have that.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like the movie that Foxcatcher wishes it was.
Ooh, that's a good call. Bennett Miller, where the hell's he gone? He hasn't done anything since Foxcatcher, has he?
No. Do you know what the next thing that Harris Dickinson is doing? He's doing the new Steve McQueen film.
Oh, Blitz.
Yeah.
Is that him and Saoirse Ronan?
Him and Saoirse Ronan, yeah.
Yeah.
Stephen Graham and Kathy Burke is in that as well.
Oh, that's a really interesting cast. What's the story? The log line on that? What's the synopsis?
Historical drama. Not much else coming out about it, but it's Apple TV again, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay, so that'll be next year then.
Okay, cool. Filming began. It's filmed. Yeah, it's all filmed. Apparently, it'll be out next year.
Oh, that just reminded me. Apple TV. A little bit in movie news we forgot. Or I forgot. Ridley Scott's already announced that there's going to be a 4-hour cut of Napoleon when it goes on Apple TV Plus. God bless you, Sir Ridley. Don't even wait until the fucking thing comes out in the cinema before saying, yeah, but my better version's coming out on Apple TV after. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
The theatrical's already like a 3 hours 10 minutes apparently.
Yeah.
But sure, just add another hour on. Why not?
That does feel a little bit like Apple have gone. Ridley, it's 4 hours long, and Scorsese's is just below 4 hours long. Is there anything you can do? And he's gone, oh, you've come to the right guy. Yes, there is something I can do. But do I still get to release this one? Yeah, we don't give a shit. It's already uploaded.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it has more Vanessa Kirby. Like, it makes her more of a focus, like, through the film. Which, sure, why not?
Yep.
That's fine.
I'll always take more Kirby.
Absolutely. So that'll be something to look forward to around Christmas or New Year. Apple doing it right. Also, you've seen Killers of the Flower Moon's getting an IMAX release.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% going down to the IMAX.
Yeah,
Makes
I
bloody
want to
weep
see.
for that.
I want to see DiCaprio's big face on a big screen.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Okay, so let's do it then. We're 40 minutes into recording. We've got 6 films, maybe 5.5.
Kind
Feel
of,
like
yeah.
The beginning and Dominion, maybe we could talk about in kind of like one block, really. But okay, so
Where are you wanting to start?
why? Where do you want to start?
I am. Are we going through from Exorcist to Believer?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. I'll hold it in.
Okay, all right.
Right. One condition: we can't mention Believer until we start talking about it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Things to say.
Okay, so look, The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin, starring Linda Blair, Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, and plenty of others. Jason Miller, plenty of others. I mean, God, we all know The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Let's just. I feel like maybe actually The Exorcist isn't going to be the longest part of this.
Probably not. No.
So I watched the 4K of the version you've never seen, which for me is a 4.5 out of 5 film. The 0.5 being taken away because I think Friedkin should have just stopped playing with it.
Yeah.
Just stop touching it. It's not going to get better if you don't leave it alone. The Pazuzu on the cooker hood thing is just a disaster. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, I put it on my Twitter, but basically at one point, it's Ellen Burstyn is in the kitchen, the lights flicker, there's an other cooker hood in the background to the right of the screen, and there is a flash of Pazuzu's face literally in the cooker hood.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, yeah. The mad thing is, we watched the same version of it, and it was in 4K on Netflix because we were in Crete, which is in Greece, and that is on Netflix.
Yeah.
in Crete.
Tight.
So we were quite shocked by that, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I literally had to, as we started watching, I had to pause it and go back, like get this in fucking 4K. And it's 4K TVs in the rooms, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we got to watch it in 4K, which was quite nice.
Was good.
I love the fact you had to watch all of these in Greece.
Oh no! Correction. We watched Exorcist in our room, didn't we?
Yes.
And then we watched all of the other ones. So the other 5 movies between us, we have watched since 2 p.m. yesterday.
Yes.
That's too much Exorcist.
Oh mate, I have loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on.
I mean,
2 on the plane.
but
Yeah.
2 today.
3 today.
3 today. 3 today.
Yeah.
Not me.
what Exorcist films did you watch on the plane?
You watched The Exorcist, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because I watched it in the room and you'd fallen asleep, hadn't you? So you watched The Exorcist and The Exorcist 2, didn't you?
Yes.
And I watched The Exorcist 2 and Exorcist Beginning.
Yes.
You two must have looked fucking insane. That's amazing.
So yeah, we're literally at one point on the plane sat next to each other. Beck's watching one, watching The Exorcist, and I'm watching Exorcist 2 next to her.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I mean, we'll talk about Exorcist 2, but I just got the thought of someone looking over your shoulder and just seeing the bits where there's just flashing lights and it's just like 10 seconds of looking at Richard Burton and 10 seconds of looking at Linda Blair. Wonderful. Right, okay, so The Exorcist, look, aside from the revisions and stuff, super unsettling. Just the vibe of that film is bananas. There is way, every time I watch this, I forget how kind of actually little possessed Reagan there is.
Yeah.
There's a few standout scenes, and the rest of it is like medical exams.
It's
A
procedural.
damning like a damning indictment of the U.S. medical system, and a priest just losing his faith and then regaining it.
It's
What a film!
what I actually really like, and I'm going to talk mildly holistically about them, and then talk about The Exorcist. What I like about the Exorcist films, up to a very certain start of a certain film, what I like about them is there's not that much exorcisms in them.
No.
There's not actually that much exorcism bits in it, and they all have. I mean, two of them have a very similar vibe, but they all have this like weird kind of energy, different energy to them. They're quite unique as a horror franchise, I will say. But yeah, it's. I think because it's pumped in and it's satirized and it's been sort of joked about for so long, because the movie was so big, and it isn't just a cult horror movie. It was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
For a long time. I mean, up until, only like 10 years ago, The Exorcist was still the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
It's crazy.
Um,
Well, that's it, and I think as modern viewers that inhale horror movies, you look at it and you're like, it's pretty fucking tame. But to your average, like, people were getting suckered into. I said this to you the other day, didn't I? People were getting suckered into seeing this movie because of its popularity that probably didn't have that much experience with genre films.
No, I mean, probably the last time when people. I mean, this. You're going back to an age of cinema go. You couldn't, you there wasn't really that many films piped in at homes, and you couldn't, video rental stores hadn't really become a thing at this point, and you couldn't own a film at home. So people watched films by going to the cinema to see them, and it's why. You could go and see films that have been running for 20 years and would get re-released. So the problem fact is that the last time that mass audiences were exposed to horror cinema will have been Psycho.
Yeah.
So it was. It's why
Which
it had
isn't
that.
anywhere near like this, is it? Like,
No, this is it. It's the wonderful thing I always think about is that it starts out as a family drama, then moves into a procedural drama, and then becomes a supernatural psychological horror film towards the end of it. But I mean the score is just it's a spine tingle. It gets you going. You go, oh, this is good, because the whole package is good. And then there's that shot of him outside the house is just it's one of those shots where it's on the poster. It's become so synonymous with it. It's one of the most famous images in cinema.
yeah.
But it is a fucking great shot.
Yeah, it is, and I think because whenever we rewatch this, I do tend to like it a little bit less, and I think because, like you say, it's been parodied so many times, it's been referenced so many times, it's lost some of its specialness. But then watching it in a different way, watching it on the plane on a screen that's like a few inches from my face, I noticed like little bits that I hadn't noticed before, which kind of, maybe it's just a familiarity breeds contempt kind of thing, and because there was unfamiliar elements this time, I enjoyed it a lot more than I have the last few times I've watched it. But a lot of the subtleties of, like, Linda Blair was 14?
Yeah.
A lot of the subtleties of her acting when she's possessed Reagan, like the facial action that she's doing, I've never caught that before.
No, I think the thing is as well.
She does some real knowing looks for a kid.
It is. I think for people around our age, it's been around. But I remember this film being banned in the UK. You couldn't get it. It was banned for so many years.
Yeah.
That it wasn't available. I first watched it on a dodgy fucking recorded video that I bought out the back of a magazine. Because that's what you used to do. You'd send your postal order to some guy with a writing down of what films you wanted, and then he sent you like 3 tapes out.
Wild.
And and so like sometimes they'd sort of, and they were, it was a recorded VHS, so it looked like hammered shit, and not like hammered shit like we would consider something that's in 480. It looked like hammered shit.
Yeah.
It looked like shit. And it was barely fucking watchable. And then the next time I watched it was when it got taken off the banned list, which I think was probably it was mid to late 90s. But that it got re-released in cinemas. But it wasn't like a wide release. But I saw it at City Screen, not where it is now in York, when it used to be in the Museum Gardens. I bought a ticket for it by going in and asking for a ticket when they first went on sale, thinking that they're going to go, no, because I was like, I think 14 at the time.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't actually a cinema, it was a museum that had a cinema in it. They just kind of went, okay, and gave me it. I thought, there's no way I'm actually getting into this film. So I made my sister go with me, thinking that I might have more of a chance if I go in with somebody who looks older, who still wasn't 18, by the way. My sister's only like 14 months older than me.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just waltzed in. No fucking checks or anything. God bless you, the 90s.
How did Nicola find it?
Well, she quite liked horror movies. We watched quite a lot of horror movies together. One of the few things that we did, like, as a brother and sister.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't really have a relationship. But we used to watch quite a lot of horror movies together.
How wholesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that was when I first saw it.
Nice.
But it's I feel a little bit like, yeah, we're going to say The Exorcist, it's fantastic. It is.
It's not the best one, though.
No, I'm probably going to agree with you on that.
That's the new one.
Five.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I was going to say 5-star banger review for Believer coming. All right, well, look, hey, I think, it's The Exorcist.
Yeah.
I mean, it even though I think it's mad, though, because when it came out on video in, like, the late 90s after the cinema release, rented it from Blockbuster somehow, and copied it onto a VHS of my own. And we had a sponsored stay awake at school, and about a dozen of us watched it there, and a few people fucked off, and I'm not surprised. And it I suppose it's a brilliant film, but now that was 25 years ago. Now, kids watching The Exorcist today, I'd be fascinated to know what they make of it, because. It's whole it's the scariest movie of all time thing. I think it's incredibly unsettling, and it's like I say, it's got that vibe, but it's also a film as much about Jason Miller's character as it is Reagan. I mean, it's not really about Reagan at all. It's about how it affects everybody around her. And I forgot how much Jason Miller there is in it. And just the great scene where Kinderman's talking to Father Karras, and it's just this 5-minute long scene where the detective's trying to get information out of him, but then just also talking about I like going to see movies, and would you I get free tickets in my role, and would that kind of wonderful stuff there, and then that kind of plays into Exorcist 3. Yeah, exactly. I love that they bring that back in with Exorcist 3.
Official business.
It just, and again, yes, we will talk about Believer later. And David, I will talk around Believer for a second. David Gordon Green has said that one of the challenges he had with the film was making sure that it was also scary and watchable for younger audiences and things like that. And no matter what I think of The Exorcist Believer, I think Gordon Green maybe slightly does have a point there, where you watch The Exorcist and that film is not trying to scare you all the time. There are moments in that film that are actually funny, and you know, but in a whimsical kind of like, oh, this is charming way. But then there are also moments that are just deeply, deeply unnerving, and like some of the stuff that that Reagan comes out with, you know, and even, but then I mean, as much for like the swearing, and I'm not going to do that here because I'm a little bit worried the extended family will hear downstairs this time round. But you know what I was saying at the end of last week's show, you've got that, but then you've also got like it just doing Karis's mum's voice, like Dimmy, why did you leave me, Dimmy? And it just Jesus Christ,
It's a very I think you're right. It's more unsettling than outright scary.
but I mean
It is very fucking quotable, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's some real
Why
good
did
shit
you
in
leave
there.
me, Dimmy? Why?
I'm thinking more your mother sucks cocks in hell, but
It's a cracking insult.
yeah.
Give Pazuzu it credit. Comes out with some bangers of some insults.
yeah.
I mean, like Pazuzu's such a little shit though as well. Just that bit where it makes the drawer open and Karis is like, "Did you do that?" But that's the thing. It's like that's actually like funny, and I feel like Free Kids going like, you know, this is like a weirdly just take your foot off the gas for a second moment. You know, and but yeah, it's a deeply, deeply odd film. It's one that we will never, ever, ever see the likes of again. You know, we'll talk about Believer in a bit, and I mean, it's wonderful, but maybe the theatrical version, I don't know, but then like you've got the conversation at the end in the extended one where like he's talking to Kinderman's talking to Father Dyer, because that's the theatrical version just ends, if I remember correctly, with like Dyer saying goodbye to Reagan and Chris, and then like looking at the steps, then walking off, and then it's the credits. And I really like that moment at the end with Kinderman and Dyer, but I can't remember. There's the extended director's cut, and then was there also the version you've never seen that then puts in the more kind of like the subliminal bollocks?
Yes.
Because if that's the case, then it's almost like, yeah, okay, go with the extended director's cut, not the version you've never seen.
Yeah, the version you've never seen, you don't need to see. Director's cut is the better one.
Yeah, there you go then. So yeah, but I mean, definitely not shit. Stone cold banger. Rest in peace, Free Kid. You've made a film that's outstanding the test of time, 50 years on.
Yeah, you know, although like I think you know, even within these films, there is a film that I like more than The Exorcist. The Exorcist is one of the most important movies in cinema.
Yeah.
You know, and for good reason.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
our audience poll.
Just to say, I think I know where you're going with that. There is a film in this lot that I think I'm more, this is the kind of film I'm into and would watch more often. But I The Exorcist for me kind of has this weird place where I don't know, just it's 50 years old and it's just such an oddity. But then again, hey, let's call it Exorcist 3 years as well. Anyway, we'll talk about it. But yeah, audience poll.
82% definitely not shit, 18% shit.
Wowee. That's spicy.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Do you know what is shit? Exorcist 2, The Heretic, directed by John Borman and starring Richard Burton, Linda Blair, Louise Fletcher, and Kitty Wynn. Getting a payday after her role as the assistant in the first one.
Shazza.
And, sorry?
Our Shazza.
Yeah, oh yeah, Sharon's back, and this time she's gonna burn herself to death for some reason at the end. Don't know why she did that. So, Exorcist 2: The Heretic came 5 years later. So Richard Burton plays a priest hired to investigate the events of surrounding Max von Sydow's death. I've forgotten his bloody name. And
Merrin.
Merrin. Christ, I was thinking Merriman, and I was like, that's not right. Merrin. So Father Merrin's death. The church believed that actually maybe heresy was involved, and so Richard Burton has to investigate things. He meets Reagan, who is now getting some sort of light-based therapy from Louise Fletcher's character, but in doing so, and along with Richard Burton investigating, kind of unlock Pazuzu again. Who's actually named Pazuzu in this one. I don't remember him being named Pazuzu in the first one.
I think he is once.
Is he? Okay,
Yeah,
I hope so.
because I thought he wasn't as well. I said this to you, didn't I, Bex? That I didn't think it was until this one, the second one. But then I do remember when I was watching The Exorcist going, oh wait a minute, they do mention Pazuzu.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad. So, Exorcist 2: The Heretic. I don't think we've ever discussed this in any form on the show before, if memory serves. Bex, what is your relationship with this film?
I know I've seen it a couple of times, but I seem to instantly forget what happens the minute the credits roll. So I had forgotten everything that goes on in this. Yeah. Probably with good reason, to be fair.
Why?
I don't hate it. It's not a shit watch, but it has no bearing on anything. It's like the mechanics of what's going on in the movie make no sense. The story's messy. Doesn't seem to know where it's going, but it's trying to do something interesting, and I respect that. There's also James Earl Jones dressed up as a locust, so that's fun.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So, have either of you guys come across the internetism of she breasted boobily to the stairs and titted downward?
What?
So there's a Reddit thread of men writing women, and it's like the ridiculous descriptions they put in of like physical aspects of women and like what they do. And one of the best known ones is she breasted boobily to the stairs and titted downward, because it's just like, it's stupid. But I was watching this with Linda Blair's boobs bouncing everywhere.
You mean the no bras were worn during the making of this movie?
Yeah, basically. And that line just popped into my head. It is the most breasted boobily movie I've seen, I think.
Yeah.
So I will go next year. I'm mixing things up. The thing about this film, and I kind of get what Becky's saying here about it being so it being forgettable, is that there is a bunch of random crazy shit in this film, but it none of it actually sticks together. It feels like disparate bits from multiple films smushed together. I described it in the boy chat as like watching an Italian horror where they like they've just left the Italian dub in. But no, that's not the Italian dub. It's the actual script.
I don't think it helps either that Father Lamont is so bad in this. Like he's so bad. I can't think of a better word for it.
He's fucking incredible. Richard Burton, at one point, I swear to God, just looks down the barrel of the camera and delivers lines like they're a hostage plea. It's that performance is like one of the great "how dare I be here" performances I think I might have ever seen. Like, he's actively pissed off.
Yeah, he has said to his agent, I don't care how drunk I was, I'm not doing it. And his agent's gone, no, you are, you've already spent the money.
Yeah. Like, and just adding to the Italian horrorness, you got Ennio Morricone's score.
It's
The-
fucking great.
I mean, it's brilliant. What is it? What's it doing? So this is the thing. It doesn't feel like the sequel to The Exorcist.
No.
It feels like a film that you pulled off of a VHS rack from the mid-80s.
Yeah, like
But-
where's the locust imagery and all that shit come from? It's like it just presents it to you like this is lore from, you know, this is established. It's not. Locusts are not mentioned in the first one. He's not the god of air and flying things, or whatever, the devil of air and flying things in the first one. It's just like, it's gone, there's got to be a demon or something. Ah, fuck it, locusts, they're gross.
Because they're part of the plague.
Absolute.
So are other things.
Yeah, but if he's the god of air, it's a plague that comes within the air. And James Earl Jones dressed as a locust.
That is funny.
And this is the thing. I mean, like, I think it's shit, and it's weirdly forgettable in bits as well. I mean, like the moment where it's like, oh, is she going to crash the plane? Is she going to crash the plane? No, she's not going to crash the plane. She's just fucking about.
That wasn't fun to be watching as we were coming in for a fucking landing in Manchester
bet.
either.
Oh,
Like,
I bet.
this feels like a bad omen. If that plane crashes, I think we're going to crash.
We literally were as well, weren't we? Coming up for what is
Yeah.
it? To
When I
land.
got to that bit, yeah.
To that bit.
And we were going through turbulence because it's fucking Manchester.
That's rough. But I mean, it's just there's all these random moments, but they just don't feel cohesive. So by the end, it's just a bit like, what just happened there then? You know, yeah. I mean,
Oh, and then at the end, right? So what? Chris is off shooting a film or doing some bullshit.
Yeah.
Reagan's been entrusted to the doctor. Yeah. Gets to the end of the movie, and she's like, she gets the fucking priest to take her off with him.
Yeah.
You can't just give people's children away to priests.
It was the 70s, Becky. Of course you could.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you know, after the sexy Reagan, good Reagan, he was probably getting some ideas as well. I mean, I just got to say before I move over to Mark, poor Linda Blair. I'm sure she got a paycheck, but my God, did she have to work for it?
She breasted
Bless
boobily.
her. Like, yeah, I mean, but God, she didn't want it. She didn't want to. Like, I felt really, really bad for her in this. Like, I don't think none of this film is her fault. And yeah, anyway, Mark.
Right. First of all, this film is not very good. But it's Geostorm for me. So just getting that out there now.
Sure.
It's Geostorm for me. For the simple reason of everything that you have both said about it is correct. Absolutely correct. But give me 100 Exorcist 2 The Heretics over generic horror franchise sequels.
Yeah.
Because it's not a horror film until literally the last 10 minutes where it goes, shit, we're supposed to be an Exorcist horror film, aren't we?
Yeah, it's
Fucking
some
hell.
psychological
It's this-
thing about sinking minds.
Yeah,
until
it's
he
this
remembers
weird,
it's
like,
supposed to
psychological,
Yeah.
like, almost like
have... Look, we've got to put
sci-fi.
an exorcism in it. Shit.
Yeah, that bounces around like fucking locations like it's a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh my God, they should totally have the place name on the ground.
They should. It would have made it great. You know, when I get to the point where I'm looking at it going, I mean, surely somebody is wearing a bra at some point in the movie. There is not a female character in this movie that you don't see their nipples at one point.
Oh yeah, because even Sharon answers
Even
the door
Sharon
at one
answers the
point,
door.
and it's just
It's almost like Borman went, hang on a minute, I can't see her nipples. Can we throw some water at her?
yeah.
It's a bonkers movie. It's bonkers. None of it makes sense.
No.
It's like they were coming up with ideas on the spot. Even the central fucking bit of the lights bit doesn't make sense. Literally, it's gone from being fucking Burton's there and Louise Fletcher's going, I'm not really sure about this.
Yeah.
To literally, he then having just seen this piece of equipment goes, I know what to do, give it to me. And then sits down and it's like how do you know where she is?
No, because Richard Burton refused to shoot the next scene, which was going to be where they work all that all stuff out, and he just improv'd and was like, "Give it to me." John Borman calls cut, and Richard Burton's like, "Right, next scene.
Yep.
we are moving on." Honestly, that could have been what it is. It feels like the only way they got Richard Burton to stay on set was like, right, I'll tell you what, at the ending, you've got to make a choice between a sexy 15-year-old and a good 15-year-old. And he was just like, can I have the sexy one?
Yeah,
you can make out with her, Richard. How about that?
It
Yes,
literally
okay, fine,
is.
I would say.
It literally is like
Borman.
Borman.
Awful.
Borman is Gus Van Sant from Jay and Silent Bob, just going, yeah, what? Yeah, cool. Just counting his money at the side. And then somewhere there is, in the credits, there is the Burton Wrangler. And all he's doing is he's got a bottle of fucking Jim Beam and he's just hanging it on a fishing line just out of shot next to the boom mic, and Burton is looking at it whilst somebody else holds all his lines up and then goes from there.
He's got that perpetual hungover sweat on him throughout the entire film.
It really does. But then you've got the bonkersness of of Regan just has that weird modern art fucking dove fucking container on the balcony of her penthouse, and you're there going, sure, why not? I was just coming out to look at the doves.
Just a quick question as well. When Pazuzu's trying to get Reagan to like walk off that building,
Yep.
if Reagan actually did that, it wouldn't be in her. It'd be like, all right, Pazuzu, well done, mate. You just killed her. Aren't you supposed to be possessing her? What was the plan here?
I don't think. I think Pazuzu has about as much of a plan as the makers of this movie had when they started making it.
Yeah, sure.
But like I say, I enjoy watching it. I wasn't at any point really bored by it. The most boring bit of it is when Burton goes off on his little excursion.
His little African adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
there's
that's-
like a 10-15 minute stretch there where you could go for a pee.
Yeah, but even that is kind of fun because he achieves basically nothing during that.
I did enjoy it where the locals turned on him.
Yeah,
and just like, actually, no, mate,
rock
you're the
hits
problem.
him right in the head.
Yeah.
I would love to have been the polystyrene. I would love to have been the rock throw of that first polystyrene rock, and just like nobody's told Burton that it's going to happen, and it just cracks him in the head, and then he seemed like he was going to be so angry after that.
I tell you what, as well, I forgot Von Sydow was actually in this.
Yeah.
Like, bloody hell, mate, what are you doing?
Well, Von Sydow at the time was, he was a jobbing actor at the time.
Yeah, I suppose it's just, if it's all about the paychecks. I mean, fair play, they got people back, didn't they? I mean, the only ones they didn't really get back, Jason Miller for obvious reasons, plot-wise, and Ellen Burstyn.
Yep. Yep. I like Ned Beatty turning up randomly.
Yeah.
For like 2 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, God, you know what? Maybe it is Geostorm.
It's Geostorm for me because I will watch this again at some point. And not just when I'm doing an Exorcist marathon.
It's been fun though, actually, hasn't it?
Yeah, I will watch this again because I kind of enjoy it. It's shit, but I don't think at any point... I don't think there's any point where it gets... I mean, for a film that's nearly 2 hours long, and I admire the fact that all of the Exorcist movies are all around basically the same runtime. And of course, you've got the Morricone score. So yeah, I'd love to be able to talk myself into it's definitely not shit, but I can't because it's shit. But it's Geostorm for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Our audience poll, definitely not shit, 25%, shit 50%, and Geostorm 25%.
It's probably about right, isn't it?
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, fair. Can't believe someone said The Exorcist was shit, but hey. Right. Exorcist 3 is written and directed by William Peter Blatty. He wanted to call it Legion, not The Exorcist 3. Warner Brothers said, you're calling it The Exorcist 3 or we're not going to pay for it. Probably fair enough. Starring George C. Scott, Brad Dourif, Jason Miller, and plenty others. So, did we talk about this during COVID times? I
think
feel
we might
like
have,
we.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we did. So, I should say it on a podcast, right? Sorry. So this time around, I watched the theatrical cut, and I know that last time I watched this, I watched the kind of like more work printy version where there is no exorcism at the end.
Actually, you watched Legion rather than...
Yeah, so I watched Legion, not The Exorcist 3, but I wanted to watch The Exorcist 3 this time because I knew I watched Legion last time round. And first comment, and then I will move on to Mark. My God, does that exorcism come out of nowhere? And that is just the most... No, you actually do have to have an exorcism in here, even if it like doesn't connect to the rest of the film at all. You have to have one. And the exorcism that they do in this is just so extra. I kind of like it. It's not in keeping with the rest of the film in the slightest, but I kind of like it.
Yep.
But Mark,
it's one of the most likeable and watchable performances from an actor ever. From George C. Scott. He's fantastic. The back and forth that him and Ed Flanders have, it is just that feels real. It feels like two old friends who very much care about each other and have this patter and this banter within each other, where they're just two like guys who are at the end of their kind of like work lives.
Yeah.
And are just basically just kind of being like faux dicks to each other.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes sense. Then you've got the one of... I mean, this film contains a couple of my favourite scenes, genuinely, in cinema history. You have the greatest jump scare of all time, which is in my top 10 scenes.
Oh, we rewatched that, didn't
in history. And then you have one of what I think is genuinely one of the funniest moments in cinema ever, is George C. Scott explaining about the carp in his bathtub.
Amazing.
oh yeah,
And just Ed Flanders is just laughing at him. And you know that is just Ed Flanders just laughing at George C. Scott just telling this story. It's not... He doesn't need to act. It is just absolutely brilliant. And then the whole rest of the film, for me anyway, is just so incredibly engaging and watchable that you are just... There's large portions of it where essentially Brad Dourif is just monologuing. And you're watching it, and you're watching George C. Scott's reaction to it, and Blatty is shooting it in such a way that it is just... It's the occasional like focus shots, but it is basically just a still camera that has the light so that it's shining down on each of their faces.
Yeah.
But not like full in their face, it's just over them. And you've got that, but it's so fucking watchable.
Yeah, the standout bits there for me with regards to like direction. There's the shot composition of the bit where there's the jump scare. That whole sequence.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because it keeps it so tense because you can't really see exactly what's going on because you're looking down the hallway and you're just watching her reactions. But that's really well done, and the fact that the bits in the padded cell, that feels like it could be a stage play.
Yeah.
With the way that it's set up and the way that it's lit, it's just beautifully done. I think as well obviously Heretic being in the middle there does help with this, but it feels like such a jump in quality as well. Because Exorcist is very, very good. I would argue, for me, this feels like a better made, more well-rounded movie because it's building off something, whereas The Exorcist is just like it's just there on its own.
Yeah.
You know, it's not got anything to springboard off from. Whereas this does. This is building on that, and it's building the mythology and the lore.
I love the fact that it's essentially the story about two side characters.
Yeah.
It's not a sequel or anything like that. It's a spin-off.
Well, it is really, yeah. And it feels like for most of it feels like a cross between like a buddy movie and a supernatural like murder mystery kind of vibe. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
even the supernatural bit doesn't come into it for a while. For a long chunk of it, it's just about the Gemini killer. Or a copycat of the Gemini killer.
well, yeah, but I mean, you know, the first half of the film has definitely got that buddy cop kind of element, and I feel like it's got that kind of familiarity in tone with The Exorcist, where it's unsettling, but there's also some just nice,
Yeah.
and just nice conversational bits happening as well, like the moment where he's talking about the carp in the bathtub. But then, for me, it just takes that turn as soon as Father Dyer is killed. And that shot of It's a Wonderful Life
Yeah.
from then on. And I think, is that not the first moment as well that you then see Father Karras / Patient X in the padded cell? I swear it's like there's like a moment of him, like a flash of him or something.
It looks
It's like from yeah, and from there on in, it just gets like darker and darker and darker and darker. And even with like it's almost kind of like absurd, but the woman scuttling along the ceiling. But it just like by that time, it's kind of unsettled you so much that it feels more unsettling than unnerving. And then the old woman like turning up at the house and like what's going to happen there, like that is so tense because you genuinely have no idea what's going to happen, no idea, and that is so well done. But then also,
and then he's
like,
getting him, isn't he? But then the priest, the other priest, walks into his room and distracts our Paz.
Yeah.
And he stops like what he's doing in the nurse in the house.
He loses his connection with the nurse, doesn't he? Yeah.
yeah.
It's like cavalry's arrived, and then he immediately dies. Oh, he doesn't die. He's still alive.
But then, you know, and Brad Dourif's monologues are fantastic, and just that one where he's talking about like having to reconstruct Karras, and like kind of like, you know, it took years, like brain cell by brain cell or whatever it is that he says, and it's horrific. And Brad Dourif like performing that dialogue is perfect. And I mean, like what I heard was that it was Jason Miller all along, and he just couldn't get through the dialogue because he was an alcoholic, and like they just had to get someone else who could actually do that dialogue. But I think that actually works really well. The two, like almost like the two sides of the personality. Even though I think if you actually like look at the dialogue, Miller is saying stuff that the Gemini killer would say. It's not like it's straight down the middle. But yeah, it's a great film, and it's one that it feels like it's got the respect now. Like, you know, people now don't necessarily say, oh yeah, but you know what the really good one is? Exorcist 3. It's almost like it's just a given that The Exorcist 3 is a really, really good film within the circles that want to hear it's a really good film. I would not recommend Exorcist 3, like, it's, you know, to anyone who I didn't already know was a horror movie fan. but I feel that within that community, I feel it's perfectly well loved enough at this point, which is lovely.
That's it. I think it's part of like a stream of quite, like we've had over the past few years the horribleness of the prestige horror thing has come out, where it's like, fuck off. It's kind of the best reaction you can have to that idea. But you'd had horror become incredibly popular in the 70s, and it was quite graphic horror. And then the 80s, you had a period of quite silly horror, and franchise horror became a thing.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s, horror kind of went back to being a little bit smart and a bit more, not as much for it was made so that it wouldn't put off mainstream audiences.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much as aggressively counterculture as the 70s was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as for a brief period in the 90s, probably up until around about just before Scream came out, it wasn't as much that it was solely aimed at teenagers either. Like a lot of the 80s horror was. And there's no, I like 80s horror. But you had, within a space of like a couple of years, you had things like The Exorcist 3, Candyman, Silence of the Lambs, it was conceived as a horror movie.
Yeah.
And so you had a lot of these movies that were a little bit more, they were slower and less reliant on gore. It's not a particularly gory movie. You have the exorcism bit at the end, which is quite unsettling, but it's a flash and it's gone. With the skin coming off.
Yeah.
That. But like the bit you hear about with the kid, you don't see that.
No, it's all left up to your imagination, isn't it?
There's a whole, and then the jump scare. It's not a violent thing. The jump scare could be in a 12A.
Oh, it's such a breathtaking jump scare. Like it does steal all the breath out of you. I love it.
It's the genius that the direction that she is coming away from, you just would not expect something to be coming from that direction after her.
And it's the fact that it makes such a big deal of her closing and then locking the door.
But if you're looking, because of the way the shot is composed, if you look in the background, there's constantly somebody else in the background until that moment where one of the nurses goes into the room and the cop picks up his cop hat and walks off down the corridor, and as he exits the shot, she's just finished locking the door and turns round and starts walking, and it comes with the shields.
Yeah. It's immediate, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a flash and that's it. Mm-hmm. And even the the way that it's shot.
What happens to her? You just hear it, don't you?
Jerry Fisher, it's like camera movement.
It's like a real crash zoom in.
Yeah,
with but it's jump scare music.
It's not straightforward either. It kind of comes a little bit towards the right and then zooms in on it. It's just it's almost like you're looking and going, holy shit, and looking round it to it. If it was just a straight zoom, I don't think it'd have the same impact. In fact, it has that slight little shift, so it comes at it from an angle. It changes the optics of it, which is more unsettling, I think, and adds to it. I genuinely could write a book about that scene.
Yeah.
But again, just George C. Scott is just so watchable at being funny and being, you get the feeling that Kinderman is just. He's a bit of a grump, but he's not a crusty old like grumpy fucking I'm too old for this shit kind of guy. He seemed good at his job. He's chewing out one guy who just doesn't seem to like that's on his team. Yeah. But then he does come across a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
He's fun. You know, the bit of walking into the cinema and going, official police business, just so he doesn't have to pay again.
I do love that.
It's great. But then, like, Dyer's... It's a really well-written film. Dyer's explanation for why he needs lemon drops.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's the little bits that don't... I think what a lot of more modern filmmakers have forgotten is that not everything needs to advance the plot. Some things can be character development and things like that. It makes you give a shit about these two men. Like when Father Dyer dies, it's
We'll come to character development.
all right. But what I'm saying is that's not isolated to that.
No.
It is a problem with cinema at the moment.
I mean,
you care about when Dyer dies. Like it's fucking horrible. It's a little
feel
bit
for him.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, you're sad because he's dead. You're sad for Kinderman because he's lost his friend, and the penguin's still there. You know, and it's just like, oh shit.
And then you've got a great little side performance from Nancy Fish as the nurse who looks like an arsehole. Yeah. And then literally when she says to him, when he says, "You're a very kind person," she's like, "I'm a bitch." And he kind of nods his head and laughs about it.
Said to you when we were watching it, she's got a real Twin Peaksy energy about her.
Oh, she does have
Yeah,
incredibly Twin
sure.
Peaksy energy, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no surprise that this is one of David Lynch's favourite movies.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. I'm going to stop talking about it because I can talk about it for days, so I'm going to stop so that we can talk about other movies. Definitely not shit.
100%.
Right. I know that The Exorcist is a better movie than this, but this for me is I prefer this movie.
I don't agree. I think The Exorcist is a more influential movie. I think this is the better, richer movie.
Yeah, look, this is the one that I would maybe stick on.
Yeah.
But there's the Exorcist is the Exorcist.
The thing is, that's it. I will watch this again before I watch any of the other Exorcist movies.
You can watch this as a standalone, I think, as long as you've...
100%.
Not as a standalone if you've never seen The Exorcist, but if you've watched The Exorcist before and you know the general gist, you can watch this again on its own without having to watch it within the series.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I love it so much. And until we did our last big Exorcist watch, I'd not seen it.
No, you'd always gone against it.
I'd never watched any of the sequels.
I'd been banging on about it for ages.
I'd never watched any of the sequels. And I'd never watched any of the sequels because as much as I could appreciate that The Exorcist... Hey?
You'd watch these.
Well, no, because we did a big rewatch in the...
Yeah, but we watched Beginning and Dominion. We used to watch them quite a bit. We did them on DVD.
Oh, well, I'd never watched
Heretic
or Exorcist 3. Probably because I didn't super enjoy Exorcist at the time.
Well, that segues us quite nicely on that.
Yeah. Fucking... The British are coming.
Holy Pole?
Oh, the poll. I believe I did look at it a minute ago and then lost it again. Exorcist 3. Definitely not shit, 82%. Shit, 18%. So the same as The Exorcist.
Okay, so the next two, I think we're going to kind of talk about as a duology.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know the background, Paul Schrader was making the next Exorcist film, which here is in the form of Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist. That entire film was shit canned at the time, and Rennie Harlin was brought in to direct Exorcist: The Beginning.
Well, he was brought in originally to retool Dominion. And then his thing was, it's an absolute... You can't retool it. You're going to be better off just starting again.
Which... Okay, so you got Exorcist: The Beginning, which shares definite narrative elements. So the plot of both involves Merrin at a dig where they have found a church that has been purposefully buried. and there is some tensions between the English army in the area and the folks who actually like essentially own the land and inhabit the land. And there are characters who are kind of similar. Stellan Skarsgård plays Merrin in both. The guy who plays the general who likes butterflies is the same in both. But
Sorry.
then I think...
To clarify, likes murdering butterflies in jars.
Yeah, okay, yes. But then I think every single other cast member is basically different.
There's
The translator's
three.
the same.
The translator as well.
Oh, the translator, sorry, yeah, you're quite right. And then Vittorio Storaro shot both of them.
Yeah.
So I think Dominion is written by two guys, and then beginning has story by them, screenplay by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So but it is a fascinating example of two different directors being given essentially the same outline, and then what have you got? And they
feels like a film class project.
Yes, yeah,
Whatever.
it does. And they are two very, very different films. I rated both of them on Letterboxd 2 out of 5. I feel that Exorcist the Beginning is the more viscerally entertaining but empty film.
Yeah.
Schrader's is the more thoughtful but also more plodding film.
Which I think is spot on, right? Yeah. I think I
was flagging towards the end of Dominion.
I gave Exorcist the Beginning 3 out of 5. I think because of the fact that it's more polished. For that, it's more. You can tell it had you can tell it had almost 3 times the budget spent on it. It's more polished, and like you said, there it's more visceral with some of the imagery. And I gave Dominion 2.5 because it just does get a bit ploddy for the last 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Where you're frankly watching, going, yeah, maybe they shouldn't have given Schrader more time to make this. Because I mean, it was like it was shelved without it being finished, and then because the reception for Exorcist the Beginning was so bad, that Schrader went back to them and said, "Look, just let me finish my movie."
I remember it being a big cause célèbre on Ain't It Cool as well. That it's like, Paul Schrader had it taken away from him. How dare they? We need to get it. But it was kind of like the power of Harry Knowles at the time compelled them.
William Peter Blatty as well was friends with Paul Schrader, and he kind of helped petition saying, "Look, just let him finish his movie. Why not? You've already had one absolute disaster out of it. What's the point? Well, what's going to happen if there's 2?"
And the thing is, I mean, Exorcist the Beginning, just like for a lot of it, just feels like a silly Bobbins, harmless enough horror movie. Dominion is almost worse in the fact that it is taking this way more somber, solemn tone. But then when you boil it down, it is just, okay, this priest has got guilt.
Yeah.
And this bold guy spends about half an hour at the end of the film chatting to him in a cave.
Yeah. Whilst disappearing and then reappearing.
And then reappearing. And I'll be honest, I would much rather have the Bond girl from GoldenEye say, "What? Oh God, what's the line about, like, you want to shove your rotten cock up a juicy arse?"
Yeah.
Which is just one. But that weirdly feels more in keeping with the original Exorcist in terms of what Pazuzu was up to.
Well, that's it.
Than anything that it's doing in Dominion.
The fact that in Exorcist the beginning, the statue that is in the underneath the church is the Pazuzu statue from The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Dominion, it's not. It's a different one. And it almost feels a little bit like Schrader had the opportunity to use the original statue and just went, no. And it's like, well, why? It's here. It's there. I don't want to. And it just seems like there's a lot of... I like Schrader, and we've covered an awful lot of Schrader on this podcast.
Yeah, we really have.
But he is a bit of a dick sometimes. And it's why he's had the weird career that he's had. Is that he has his moments.
It just... Can you imagine Warner Brothers watching this cut and then seeing that dream sequence of like him with that like bandage wrapped all over his head in that kind of weird insane asylum looking bit?
Yeah.
And just like... And you know that he's going for the original. That he's trying to do that weird dream thing in the original. And I don't know. It just... It shows how sensibilities have moved on 30 years later, where, you know, you don't necessarily want Exorcist the beginning, but you don't really want Dominion either, because you just be... You've got to be scarier. It can't just be a tale of Catholic guilt and just not really be unsettling. You can't get away with that. The thing, Exorcist Beginning does go too far in the other way. Like I say, I scored them exactly the same. By the time you've got Isabel Scorupio just running at Merrin at the end while he's reciting that stuff, and then it just blasts her back, it is a little bit like, what am I watching? But you know what?
It does go a little bit
So
bonkers.
was Exorcist 2.
Yeah. But the problem is with... I think the problem is, like you said, the Exorcist the beginning goes a little bit too bonkers. Because that cave is the same length as the runway in Fast 7.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, Dominion is just like, right, hang on a minute. You're talking about Catholic guilt in a cave in Africa where it's just... where it looks a little bit too Indiana Jonesy. And not like Indiana Jones, like in Indiana Jones, like the fucking, like the Mexican equivalent.
I mean,
Indiana Smith.
Indiana Jones and the Church
Minnesota
of Pazuzu.
Smith.
I don't know, because I mean, I'd seen them both once before, and I actually came out of this with more goodwill towards Exorcist the Beginning than I ever remembered having.
Because it's gnarly.
It is, and it's full on.
Yeah.
And Dominion's got interesting ideas, you know, and it playing up the whole that Merrin's choice aspect more than Exorcist the Beginning does.
It's choice.
I mean, but it just, I don't know, and maybe it's because Dominion was kind of like, maybe if it actually had the full shooting schedule, I don't know, maybe the CG hyenas would look better. And
They are so
You
bad.
loved the CG hyenas, didn't you, Vex?
They were hilarious. Every time they came on, just... man. I mean, literally use a man in a dog suit before you use it.
I
They're
genuinely
awful.
think at one point one of those was a cat dressed up.
They look so clean and fluffy as well, though. Like, hyenas are mangy.
Oh, sorry, 2 ticks. Sorry, they're ordering a takeaway.
That's weird. So are we tonight. What are you getting?
Oh,
Chinese.
So wait.
We got back too late last night to get a Chinese, and I've been really jonesing for one. So the Burger King that we had at service station sufficed for dinner last night, didn't it? Because you were knackered when you got home. I stayed up and watched more Exorcist.
But yeah. So yes, yep. I will take a fried rice. Sorry. Yes, please. Okay. So look, I mean, I think both are failures.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like Stellan Skarsgård's portrayal of a young Father Merrin, though. I do think he does well with it.
I do think as well the fact that they are slightly different as well.
Yeah.
In both. It's not just the same character.
No, it's not.
It's the same, but it's not exactly the same performance of the character.
He's more tortured in Dominion, isn't he? Like in Exorcist, the beginning, he is a bit like, yeah, I've lost my faith, and yeah, I would quite like to have sex with the lady doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Whereas he seems more weirdly. He seems more like he's dealing with his guilt in a different way in Exorcist the beginning by drinking.
Yeah.
Whereas Dominion, he just seems just broken down by it all and just kind of wants to be left alone.
Well, that's it. And
Dominion...
like he's
sorry,
go. The stuff with the Doctor as well. Like in beginning, he just seems quite horny for the Doctor.
We all were.
Whereas in Dominion, he seems like he approaches it in a different way. Like he likes her rather than he just wants to bang her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Exorcist the beginning is definitely more shove rotten cock up juicy arse territory. I mean, what a line! Just what a line.
Yeah.
And also, God, Exorcist the beginning. Just a mention for Alan Ford, Bricktop from Snatch.
Yeah.
Just wonderful. What the bloody hell is going on with that character? Just the moment that she wakes up from that dream and he's just lying down by her. It's, what are you doing, mate? It's all for a jump scare, obviously, but he's putting in the work here. I feel like after Snatch, he got a few roles where he was just a little bit hot in Hollywood for like a year or two and made some good bank. And good on you, Alan Ford.
He got those because of that, without question. The fact that James Darcy and is it Gabriel Mann and the other one?
Yeah.
Are basically, they are so generic as humans that you could be mistaken for thinking that they're the same person.
Sure.
They are skin jobs without having any, they're skinny skin jobs.
Fair.
Yep.
Our audience, Paul.
Oh, as well, also, right. Whenever there's British, especially British army types in movies, they're gonna be bad dickheads.
Oh, of course.
I mean, obviously they're more bad dickheady in Dominion than they are in Beginning, aren't they?
Yeah.
But still not great.
No, that's still not great.
Still butterfly murderers.
That did remind me. I did like how, Exorcist the beginning, you see the two kind of like sides start fighting each other, and then you just kind of forget about it, and the next you see him is right at the end where it's just everybody's dead, Dave. and they just completely forget about that plot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an interesting aspect to it, that you've got running through the whole thing is that like that tribal thing, and the way that like this church is like feeding that tension. But that's a good idea. That feels like something that wouldn't happen in films now. Like that kind of B plot kind of that doesn't feel like. I mean, we'll talk about Exorcist the Believer. There is no B plot to that film.
Barely an A plot.
We will get to it soon. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like, weirdly, Exorcist the Beginning, as a film, has more patience than a film made now. And back then, it was decried as like a heresy to the original. We'll get to Exorcist Believer very soon. Lord knows what we'll be thinking in 20 years.
Well, I mean, I also, in Exorcist the Beginning, I like the fact that throughout the movie, you've got Merrin just piecing together what's going on with that gravesite.
Yeah.
And it just crops up like different moments to the point where it becomes an obsession that he needs to know what's going on. And then you find out it's literally nothing. It is literally, it was just to ward people off.
Fake.
Yeah.
Fakery.
I mean, I think they're both... I think Dominion's shit. I hate to say it, I do think it's shit. I think Beginning for me is teetering on Geostorm. I do think it's shit, but I also do quite enjoy it.
Yeah, look, both shit, but for different reasons.
What are you, Bex?
I'm gonna dual rate them as both Geostorm because they feel like a film school project.
Fair play.
And I think that's interesting. It's like Psycho, the remake of Psycho feels like a film school project to me as well. Like, make this again, beat for beat, but new.
Yeah, but daft.
Yeah. Make it again, same script, same things happen, pretty much exactly the same shot compositions and stuff. But, right,
No.
make it silly within that same framework.
The beauty, and just very quickly though, the beauty of the remake of Psycho is the fact that they did him putting on the makeup and the clothes in real time for what it would take in the scenes. So in Psycho, he goes off and he comes back fully like fucking kitted out. It's like, yeah, no, didn't have that much time. But we'll cover that at some point. Exorcist the beginning, definitely not shit 11%, touching cloth 44% and shit 33%, with Geostorm 12%. Dominion, definitely not shit 17%, I admire all you people. Touching cloth 33% and shit 50%.
Well, Dominion's Blatty's preferred one, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't agree with him.
Okay. Exorcist the Believer is directed by The Exorcist Believer, directed by David Gordon Green. Stars Leslie Odom Jr., Ellen Burstyn, Ann Dowd, Norbert Leo Butts, great name, and others. So, IMDb says when two girls disappear into the woods and 3 days later return 3 days later with no memory of what happened to them, the father of one girl seeks out Chris McNeil, who's been forever altered by what happened to her daughter 50 years ago. I mean, she gets fucking forever altered about 5 minutes into her appearance in this film as well, doesn't she? But, right, okay, Exorcist the Believer, I'm just going to start by saying this film is an absolute piece of dog shit. I hated it, and David Gordon Green has not been confirmed as director of Deceiver, and Jason Blum needs to take it off of him. Bex, thoughts?
Do you know what? I came out thinking it's generic, it's lazy, and there's some bits that are stupid, and it's probably my second least favourite. But upon reflection, no, it's just a piece of shit. It's lazy, it's uninspired, it's badly acted, the exorcism is badly handled. It's not gory enough, it's not edgy enough, it's not anything enough, it's not trying to do anything, it's just a real fucking lazy cash grab. And I hate it. And I hate David Gordon Green because of it and the trilogy of Halloween movies that he made. So, fuck that guy.
Can I go?
Yeah?
David Gordon Green is a fucking coward. Is what I would say for this. If he likes horror movies so much, come up with an original idea. If you can't come up with an original idea, don't then make sequels to existing IPs that lack any originality at all. One of the beautiful things that I found about these Exorcist sequels, prequels and bits is none of them feel like Halloween Part 5 or Friday the 13th Part 3 or Nightmare on Elm Street fucking 4. None of them feel like just generic fucking horror franchise bits. They all feel a little bit within themselves, an oddity within themselves.
Yeah.
And that makes them more interesting than a lot of the horror franchises for that. The problem is, what David Gordon Green, who for some reason people still think he's like this auteur filmmaker, has done, is made the most generic, fucking paper-thin, dull as fuck sequel to a horror movie. This is if you're going to make this movie, give it to a jobbing director. Give it to a new director. Give it to fucking anyone but this fucking guy who has bored the life out of us for 4 movies running now without a single shred of originality. At all. And I liked the third Halloween movie. The reason why I liked it is because it just felt like a Halloween fucking sequel. It felt like a generic movie, and I liked that about it. But this is,
and it was a bit mad.
This is just fucking crap. It's boring.
Yeah.
It's the exorcism is just. It's a good the last third of the movie, but it's crap. There's no originality in it. The acting in it is, they're all trying. None of them. I don't think any of them are particularly bad actors, but what they're given to do is just nothingness. It's just you had $30 million to make an Exorcist movie, and this is what you churned out.
So Leslie Odom Jr. is putting in a perfectly agreeable shift. Like
as a guy who looks like he's never looked after a child in his life.
I don't buy him as a dad at all.
That's the other
I don't
bit.
buy him as that kid's dad. But the reason for that is there's no character development.
There's no character development at all.
You don't get to spend any time with them and believe their relationships. Like, I don't believe those 2 little girls as being friends.
Before she goes missing.
Yeah. There's no character development on anybody whatsoever. And it's like...
And in one of those scenes, he's ripping into her for going through her mum's stuff. Like, you'd be sensitive about that as the parent of a bereaved child.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just tell him off and take it off him.
No. He doesn't come across as a dick. He comes across as a nice enough guy.
Comes across as like the uncle who's taken her in at around that age because both her parents have died.
Which has been fine, yeah.
Yeah.
But not somebody who's raised her for 12 years.
Yeah.
There's no character development of anybody. Those 2 girls who are apparently friends look like they have just met.
Yeah, they do, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it feels like Gordon Green and the screenwriters watched The Exorcist on 1.75 speed and went, yeah, all right.
I didn't watch any of the other movies.
No. And
there's no excuse for that, because me and Becky have watched them in a day.
And, I mean, the thing is, it's the fact that, yeah, this one is weirdly boring with moments of just outright, what are you doing? So the way that Gordon Green obviously thinks it's incredibly smart that it's not just Catholicism here.
I said that to you, didn't I?
You've got to have faith. It's like the bloody monologue that I think Burstyn has about like it's people, it's belief in people, and that shot where they're all walking into the church, and I swear to God, I thought the Avengers theme was going to start playing.
Painful.
And it's the fact that it's obviously so satisfied that it's doing that, and like they were waiting for think pieces online about how this is the first post-religion Exorcist film, and it's like, nah, mate, because it's dumb. Yeah. It's like the Ellen Burstyn saying
he did it 20 years ago better.
Good shout. Ellen Burstyn saying, I'm not an exorcist, and then literally 10 minutes of screen time later, basically going, I'm gonna have a crack at this myself,
by just saying
trying
words.
to exercise her.
That's it, and then gets her ass kicked. And the thing is, that if it's going for it's not about Catholicism, it's about just general faith and having like a multi-faith exorcism setup. They're all doing shit until that priest comes in, and then he gets his neck broken.
Which nobody saw coming when he literally came out in his nice cardigan and went, people on both sides get hurt here, and you're going, well, he's clearly going to die, isn't he?
And then the end of the film, the exorcism doesn't really work. They make the choice, Pazuzu tricks them, and then Pazuzu buggers off. Actually, no. And what happens? Sorry, I just need to send another text message. Sorry, Chinese order 15 to 40 minutes away. Sorry. So, right. There is a crumb of hope here that I know this sounds daft, but I want to see if anybody else wondered this. When they exercise them and then that steam comes out of their mouth, I can't even believe I'm saying this, and that steam comes out of their mouths, or water, or whatever the fuck it is, and then he goes outside and pours it down the drain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a shot, an overhead shot of that stuff getting poured down the drain. Is there any chance at all that whole town is going to get possessed by the water supply in the next one?
Well, what's the next one called?
Deceiver. Is there any chance at all that it could basically turn into Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I mean, that'd at least be... So you're saying that David Gordon Green's not been confirmed as...
Apparently, I read an interview with him yesterday where he said he hasn't been confirmed. He wants to do them. He has the outlines, but he hasn't been confirmed.
Outlines. The guy don't write a fucking script. He just goes into them with the fucking outlines.
His outlines are watch Exorcist 2 and watch Exorcist 3. And then he's just going to do some lazy shit fucking sequel to both of them.
No, he'll just do the same thing as he did with the second Halloween movie, but with the Exorcist people.
Yeah. What, angry, anti-woke shit?
It just... I don't know. If it were to go in a completely different direction, which I feel like you'd kind of have to now, then cool.
I think the fact that it's been so badly received will make David Gordon Green and his massive ego go, I'm not going to do the next one. People didn't get what I was going for. No, what you went for was shit, mate.
Shit, mate.
I wouldn't be surprised if a statement comes out saying that it's being taken off of the release schedule because they're going to retool it and they're just going to get a new creative team. But I think what they need to do, now Universal have paid $400 million for the rights to the franchise, they need to basically just pretend that this one never happened and just wait a few years and then go again. This film got a C cinema score. It made less than $30 million in opening weekend. It is toast this weekend with the Taylor Swift concert film coming out. No one likes this film. It seems like
no, and that's my David Gordon Green is a coward thing. He's doing horror because he knows he can do it on a small budget. And he's doing legacy horror because he thinks he's cracked the formula to just be able to have a hit while he comes up with an idea to actually make a different movie.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I mean, you can see what's going to happen. It's like Linda Blair's going to come into the next one, and then she's going to be like that reveal at the end there. Like, I actually thought Linda Blair might have gone, do you know what? No. I'm just not going to be in one shot of this. No, but they've obviously said you'll be a starring role in the second one, and it's all so cynical.
Yeah,
it's the ideas that it's got in it feels entirely generated to provoke think pieces, and none of it's scary. None of it's scary.
No, it's the literal depth of not even a puddle. It's the depth of a little bit of water that drops off the bottom of your toothbrush.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I will be staggered if I see a worse movie than this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty there
It's
too.
it's boring. It's so boring, and it's dumb, but in the worst kind of way. I like dumb movies. The fucking Exorcist 2: The Heretic is dumb. At least it kind of seems to know it's dumb. Or it's too dumb to know that it's dumb. This is the worst kind of dumb in the fact that it thinks it's oh so smart. And it's just not.
Apparently Ellen Burstyn has taken the pay. Like, essentially, they kept on offering her money. She was like, no, more. When she finally accepted it, she's just basically given it to students to fund their scholarships in acting school.
Yeah.
Like, that is great, but I'm actually still kind of annoyed that she went, yeah, all right, I'll do this material. Like, honestly, when she started trying to exercise the girl,
God, yeah.
it was one of like the lowest ebbs I have felt in the cinema in I don't know how long, where it's just it's actually offensive to me that character's doing that, given everything. Yeah.
If this film,
God, could you imagine what William Friedkin would have made of this? Sorry. Yeah.
That's it. If this film would have come out, would have been like the sequel to The Exorcist, and was like a historical film. It came out in 1978 and was the first sequel to The Exorcist. I think we would be talking about, people would talk about it now as one of the worst sequels of all time to anything. It's just, I am staggered that they managed to think that the script to this movie and the story of this movie was at any point any good. I do think that I think the same thing that happened with the Halloween movies is David Gordon Green and Scott Teems and Dan McBride, which is staggering that they're involved in it as well. They've thought, we like horror. I bet we could make a better version of Halloween, and have pitched it and gone, we can do it. We do this, and then someone's gone, yeah, fucking do it, and they've gone, all right, yeah, shit. Has anyone got any actual ideas?
But like the first Halloween, very like Me Too influenced, and it's got some interest. Like the end of that, where it's the 3 generations of Strodes have trapped him down there. There's some I like that. Halloween Kills, the mob mentality thing. There's an idea there, and it's different from the first. And the whole he feeds on the anger and it makes him stronger element. There's something there with that film. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but it's going for something. Then Halloween Ends, like you say, is just some sort of bizarro Halloween 5-esque thing, which has barely got anything to do with anything, but they're just running with it.
Like they found an old script rather than a new one.
Yeah, there's something to the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy that I'm okay with. This, it's taking on even more of a classic horror film than Halloween is, and is just, and like I was saying earlier on, he's like talking about like adapting it for modern audiences. It's like, okay, so you've done some faux intellectual stuff about, like, you know, you just need to believe in people. No, what?
That's
That
not what
doesn't
they're
make
about.
any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Describe that to me, David. Describe to me what you mean by, like, oh, it just takes belief in people. Because by the end of this, belief in people has done nothing.
Yeah.
Someone has made a choice. Pazuzu has, or whoever, has tricked that person, released in bunny ears one of the girls. End of film. What belief has actually saved anything in that scenario? It's actually a really depressing ending because the heroes didn't save the day. No one saved the day. Belief in people didn't actually save the day.
And you had... The thing is, exorcisms in movies, with the exception probably of The Exorcist, are usually pretty crap. Because it is somebody sat in a place, usually in a fucking chair, tied to it, going, yeah, and then somebody shouting at them religious nonsense.
Yeah.
And this goes, I know we can make that more interesting. Oh, go on, how? How about we just don't actually have any actual religion there? We just have people who have faith, just saying words.
Like, literally, they are all around them in a circle, just spouting their own thing. And it is just like, we'll just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. That's their approach to the exorcism. We're just going to try that. It is an awful, awful idea, played out really badly. And the more I just think about it, it's just like the film's like theme of its belief in people is not proven by the events of the film.
No. It's
Hey, listen to this. This is good.
What?
David Rooney of The Hollywood Reporter. Unlike Green's Halloween trilogy, which served up diminishing returns with each new instalment, Believer condenses that downward trajectory into the first chapter.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you are Universal and you're wanting to do another Exorcist movie or a trilogy of Exorcist movies, right? Do something with it.
Yeah.
Don't make an Exorcist movie. Not like an exorcism movie. Make an Exorcist movie. Use something that's within it. That's within the fabric of all these other movies there to make something fucking interesting.
Yeah, you could have found something.
And that has a weight to it. Don't make essentially a schlocky by numbers release it in October and we'll make money.
Well, I mean, look, because this is the thing. It's Universal bought this to make films, and like they want to do an Exorcist Halloween Horror Night thing. They want to exploit the IP, you know, which is very depressing. But such is the way of things. But The Exorcist, Exorcist 3, and Dominion are films about something. Exorcist 2 is batshit gonzo, what the hell. Exorcist the Beginning is a weird mix between like Catholic guilt horror and here's a bunch of silly shit, enjoy.
It's kind of nihilism.
Yeah, exactly. This is the start of an already announced trilogy which heralds the continuing exploitation of the Exorcist IP.
Yeah.
That's what this film is.
Yeah, it's
and
cynical. If you called this something else, like fucking two friends going to the woods, David Gordon Green's two friends going to the woods, you at no point would go, it's a bit like The Exorcist, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no fingerprint at all of The Exorcist other than a piano version of the score and a font.
Ellen Burstyn.
And a legacy character.
Get that font at the end
Yeah, that's it.
as well.
A font, a character who literally has said she's only done it for the money, and a fucking slowed down piano version of the score. Well fucking done. I bet that took you all the time it took to take a piss to come up with.
I the thing is, looking at how badly this one has done, I really, really hope makes Blum and Universal just think, right, let's just slow it down. That didn't work. David Gordon Green, go make something that will hopefully get good reviews for you at Sundance again.
Because it's been like what, nearly 30 years since that happened for you.
The guy's got an eclectic career. You know, I think I've liked more of David Gordon Green's stuff than I haven't liked. This is just such the work of someone who just does not actually care about the material. It's like John Borman with Exorcist 2, except he's going, I want to make a trilogy, and actually it's about stuff. It's like Halloween was about Me Too, and it wasn't really, it was just weirdly timed. And you also had Jamie Lee Curtis, who genuinely seemed to care about the material and was giving it her all there. Ellen Burstyn here has probably been asked to do Exorcist related stuff for the last 50 years and has said no, and has only done it now because she wants to help students. Which I like. This film is offensive to me, but also thankfully 10 years ago it would have made my blood boil. Now it's just like it's kind of the way of things, but we've got Killers of the Flower Moon and The Killer coming up in the next couple of weeks, so it's not all bad. Fuck this film. It unremittingly shit. Just very, very bleak. But also, I mean, like, to be fair, The Exorcist was like the last one of the classics that hasn't had a remake. I mean, I don't know, maybe Psycho. But what in the last 10, 15 years hasn't had a remake or reimagining at this point?
Yeah.
The Exorcist was the one.
But do you know why? Because it was too big to tackle. It wasn't just like Nightmare on Elm Street is a horror fan favourite, and it's a lot of like, it's a fucking, you watch it when you're a fucking teenager at a sleepover thing. The Exorcist was a bigger thing.
The Exorcist is a classic.
Yeah. It's one of the.
It deserves more respect.
It deserves more respect. It probably is one of the 20th most important movies ever made. Well, The Believer, definitely not shit 14%, Touching Cloth 14%, and shit 71%.
Nice.
I think people have been too generous there.
Yeah, definitely shit.
Yeah, hated it. And yeah,
they're gonna do some de-aged Max von Sydow stuff in the next. Like they need to take it off of them.
The thing is, Ian, I've just looked here, and I do like more of David Gordon Green movies than I don't like.
Yeah, man.
All the Real Girls is great.
Never seen it.
I enjoy Pineapple Express. The Sitter's fantastic. Joe's very good. Stronger's decent.
I don't think I've seen most of these. What the fuck's The Sitter?
The Sitter's
Jonah
fucking
Hill.
brilliant.
I haven't seen that.
Alright, the Sitter is genuinely brilliant.
I think I've
It has
seen.
one of the great Sam Rockwell performances in it.
If we take out the Halloween movies, I've seen 2. Which are Pineapple Express and Your Highness, both of which I don't like.
Like straight up, like George Washington was like a really, really big deal on the indie scene back in the day, and so was All the Real Girls. It like the dude really had some cachet.
I didn't get on with George Washington, but I really liked All the Real Girls.
Yeah, same actually. But like George Washington was huge. I think there's a criterion of it. Like it's one of the big indie movies of that moment.
Undertow's quite good actually as well.
That's the thing. The guy puts his hand to this stuff, but now it kind of feels like he's getting some good money from Universal and Blum, and he gets to write these things with his friends,
but he doesn't have any ideas.
This is like you're done surely with like young girl gets possessed. You need to do something weird. Like I say, honestly, pouring that stuff down that drain, like, why would you focus on a shot of it going down the drain if you weren't leading to something with that?
Yeah.
And, like, it would go down like poop in an elevator. But if the next one is just like the town start becoming possessed because they drank dank possessed water,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing that film.
Yeah, I'd be
But
fine with that.
I don't think we're going to get the chance. I think it gets taken off of him.
Yeah, I think it definitely does. But I don't think he had an idea for it anyway. Questions?
What was the last shot? Sorry,
The last shot of it was...
You had Reagan hugging Linda Blair.
Yeah, that was it.
That was the last shot.
I'm fairly certain it is, yeah.
Reagan hugging Linda Blair. You know what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last shot.
Yeah, Twitter questions. Yeah.
Twitter questions. There we go. We have some. I'm sure we did. Saw them earlier. Burnser, which other film series should be given the competing Rennie Harlin and Paul Schrader prequels?
I mean, I want to see Paul Schrader's version of Rennie Harlin's Mindhunters, but I know that's not the question.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, too right. Or the Johnny Knoxville Jackie Chan film Skip Trace. Let's get Paul Schrader's version of that. But
Same
prequels, oh, absolutely. That's a good question.
It's a good question, yeah.
Scarface.
Yeah. Yeah. Scarface.
You go in some directions.
Yeah. The fucking Cuban years.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? And there'll all be like the political angle of it from Schrader, and I'll be there. Really Harlan just be like, nah, he's just a prick. Dylan Black Lanterns. Based on Becky's Spiral watch, what films have you seen by mistake? I was 45 minutes into Jesse Eisenberg film Zombieland before questioning its lack of zombies and odd focus on theme parks. Turned out I rented Jesse Eisenberg's film Adventureland.
Adventureland. Yeah, nice. I never have, I'll be honest, sorry it's a boring answer, but like I've never mistakenly put a film on.
I have. I mistakenly, when Old Boy came out, went to the cinema to see it. I mistakenly got into it, and was about 10 minutes into it going, this don't look like what it's supposed to be. Why is this guy jumping through a tyre? And it turns out that I had mistakenly gone to see Ong Bak instead.
Oh.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the living shit out of it. It's a great film.
Yeah.
But I had thought that Ong Bak must have been in my youthful kind of naivety.
Japanese.
I thought that maybe that was the Korean title of the movie.
Yeah.
And the translation translated to Old Boy because it had an O at the start of it and a B in it, which I don't think is that bad. It's the same amount of letters.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, and then like 2 days later I went to see Old Boy.
I mean, I think we already know my answer, don't we?
Yes. Rick Kidd, what your...
I think I get honourable mention for staying and watching it all, though, despite
I think you do,
it
yeah.
being completely different.
Rick Kidd, what is your favourite, least favourite movie priests?
Favourite/least favourite movie priests?
I mean...
Russell Crowe in The Pope's Exorcist?
Russell Crowe in The Pope's Exorcist wins, yeah. As
What
the
about I
skip.
Kick Ass for the Lord? Seeing Brain Dead, Peter Jackson's.
Yes. I'm also going to take Leslie Nielsen's in Repossessed.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Gabe Byrne in Stigmata.
Yeah.
And
Heath Ledger and his...
Heath Ledger in The Order.
And who's the other guy in Sin-Eater with him?
Bettany.
Mark Addy.
Yeah, Mark Addy.
Oh,
He's really
it's
great
Mark
as the
Addy.
drunken
I thought it was
priest.
Paul Bettany.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, Paul Bettany in what's it? He's not really a priest,
He's not
though,
really a
is
priest,
he?
no. But you could take
He's
him
like
in
a
like
monk.
Priest or Legion that he made, where he's a priest.
No, but I like him when he's just fucking mad
Yeah.
with his salise.
Worst, all the ones from Spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not our faves.
Yeah. Are you moving mad? Which film would be enhanced by one character casually being possessed by a little stinker of a demon at some point?
Good question.
Oh, man. These questions are too hard, guys.
That's a really good question.
I wouldn't want it to be, like you said here, major or side, or maybe just in the background of a few shots. I want it to be like a side character, like somebody who's not even in it that much. Like fucking, like if the Shermanator in American Pie was possessed by Pazuzu.
That'd be good.
What's his
Zach
face
Galifianakis in the
Hangover?
Hangover trilogy.
Oh my god, that's what I was just saying. Did I not just say The Hangover?
Yeah,
But I couldn't remember his fucking name.
yeah, I'd say that.
You weren't going to
That's
say
so-
Zach Galifianakis, though, were you?
Yeah. I just couldn't remember his
Right.
character's name. That's
Out
really
of
weird, Ian.
out of all of the characters in cinematic history to be possessed by a demon, we both picked Zach Galifianakis in the Hangover films.
It's because we've been watching those blinking lights, Ian, and we're in sync.
Oh, we're in sync, are we? Yeah, all right.
Marcus sees him.
I don't like that, Becky. That's really weird.
Gut reaction. What's going to win Best Picture, Oscar, and why? Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, or D, something else?
Oppenheimer, already too powerful. Poor Things will get Emma Stone her second Oscar. Killers of the Flower Moon is going to be nominated for a ton. Might not win any. Lily Gladstone has been put in for Best Actress, which I think is going to knock her out because I think Emma Stone's going to do it. They should put her in Best Supporting Actress.
I think it's going to. I think Oppenheimer is going to win Picture, and I think Cillian Murphy's going to win Actor. And I think Killers of the Flower Moon. I think Killers of the Flower Moon is going to win Director, Screenplay, and I think De Niro's going to win the Best Supporting.
I think it's. I feel like it's going to do an Irishman, nominated for like 10, wins none.
Yeah. I think it's maybe come out too early for it to win it.
And it's 3.5 hours long, and it's really heavy, and it doesn't have the pop culture. Like, if Francesca Scorsese wants to do more TikToks with her dad, I think it would actually help his Oscar campaign. And yes, I know how depressing that sounds.
But that was all.
I think Dungeons and Dragons is going to win it.
I don't think it is. But I hope it is for you, I'll say.
I know I don't. I hope it wins. I bet that's
But
the Oscars.
great selection of questions this week, guys.
Yeah,
We
really
always
good, thank
appreciate
you.
them, but
Yeah,
a fantastic
really good.
selection there. Really enjoyed that.
So guys,
Really
what the
don't like
fuck are we watching
Zach
this week?
Galifianakis.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
How did we just both do that? I really don't like that.
I mean,
It's just Mark
Is it
said
my
side
influence?
character. You said side character, and you said Shermanator, which was kind of making me think, yeah, okay, comedy, that's interesting. But there's still a lot of comedy side characters. Some Darren Brown shit that was. Right.
Oh my god, Matthew Lillard in Scooby Doo though as well. That would be good. I feel like that maybe happens in one of
that's
the
funny.
movies.
no, I'd want Scrappy Doo to be fucking possessed by Pazuzu.
No, I don't want him to have that much screen time. No one likes Scrappy Doo.
No one likes Scrappy Doo.
Seriously though, what are we watching?
Next week?
Yeah,
Okay.
because the only thing that's out at the cinema is fucking Taylor Swift, and we aren't seeing that. You can, Ian.
I mean,
I'm not.
if fucking Taylor Swift was out, I'd watch that.
Fucking Taylor Swift, a series of interviews with the men she left behind.
I mean, that would be good.
I just thought it meant more like a One Night in Paris kind of thing.
Yeah.
Second mention for that film on the show.
I don't even know what it is.
Solid. It does what it says on the tin.
Okay.
I'll download it for you, Bex.
I'm alright, thank you. Just can you download Trick or Treat for me instead?
No.
Anyway, go on, sorry, Ian.
Yeah, if it wasn't 3 hours long, I'd be seeing the Taylor Swift film. As it is, I won't be. So
that makes
next
me really
week.
sad for you.
Oh no, it's just too long. Nah, you're all right. So yeah, a couple of streaming releases next week, I think, which are actually already out on streaming now. So
Yeah, I was
on
going to suggest Fair Play.
Yep, Netflix, Fair Play. I am already 10 minutes into it. Interesting opening scene. I'll leave it there. And then also on Amazon Prime, Totally Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up. I've already got a couple of what we've watched to do, and I'm sure I'll have some more over the next few weeks. Over the next week, I think that's it though.
I'm cool
In terms
with
of streaming stuff, yeah. And then we got Killers of the Flower Moon week after, and then it's kind of like off to the races. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll do it. I think the Chinese is imminent, so I think this has been fantastic timing. So I'm going to say thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Becky.
Thank you very much.
And I'm just going to leave it there. Jason, you know what you did.
Just to say as well, I'm going to pre-warn everybody. There is going to be House of Usher talk next week.
Oh,
so
of course, yeah.
Is
that
that
comes out?
is-
Hang on. In like 12 hours or something.
Okay, nice.
11
And
hours,
that's-
2 minutes and 22 seconds.
And that's Flanagan's last Netflix project, I hear.
It is.
Yep. He then goes to Amazon.
Oh, right, okay, so he's just going to do his thing, but at Amazon instead, right? Okay,
Yep.
I thought maybe he was going to do films, but never mind.
No, he basically has carte blanche to do what he wants. Doesn't need to be TV. Could be film or whatever. He's got 2 films in the making, hasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. One of them's a Stephen King thing, and I think that's a film.
Yeah.
And he's still, but obviously the strikes and stuff. So
The Shining 3, Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
We'll watch.
he's got stuff.
Yeah. But I think his next thing he said is a film.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Look
Let's go
forward to
pick up
watching
our
Talk next
Chinese.
week.
Right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. David Gordon Green's a fucking coward.